Space Watch, the Trump administration launched the U.S. Space Command Thursday. It's part of the president's efforts to establish a sixth branch of the military. Bofta Yimam has those details.
It's all systems go as the White House celebrates the launch of U.S. Space Command.
SpaceCom will ensure that America's dominance in space is...
See that Edomite in the back there? Through the spirit, man. I'm thinking that this is one of those men that that poke yahawashi, because I see his face all over the place, and his face give me a very bad energy, man. That man that's always behind Trump. I don't know his name, but it's, whenever there talks about space and all that, he always show up. His face is always there, so he's probably one of those men. I'm just saying. Now we're gonna pause on me. Seriously. Bear with me for a little bit. Okay?
Never questioned and never threatened.
Space Command is an effort to reorganize and boost the U.S. military's tech capabilities in outer space. It's existed before, but dissolved more than a decade ago. General Jay Raymond currently leads what's known as Air Force Space Command. He'll be the first commander of U.S. Space Command.
On behalf of the space warfighters, thank you for your leadership.
Under SpaceCom, the military says 87 units will work to provide everything from missile warnings to satellite-based navigation for troops in the field. Former Pentagon lawyer Darren Johnson says the reorganization makes sense for national security.
China and Russia have developed anti-satellite weapon systems. As we rely on our satellite systems, we will need to have a strategic plan in place to ensure their protection.
Space Command is different from the president's push for a new military branch called Space Force. That requires congressional approval.
This seems like it's the next step in President Trump's announced interest in forming a Space Force.
The Space Force will organize, train, and equip warriors to support SpaceCom's mission.
U.S. Space Command will temporarily be headquartered at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs. Bofta Imam, CBS News, the White House.
So, you see how they keep pushing that whole 6 number? It's a 6 branch of the U.S. military. Right? That word, that number 6, but we know we know it's what you're talking about, the 666. You know, everything is entangled in one. But I'm gonna read: soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and now guardians. Guardians. Vice President Mike Pence announced Friday that members of the Space Force, the 6th, and newest branch of the U.S. military, will be called Guardians. We just returned from the Oval Office, and so it is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force, every time I read this, I have to laugh, man, will be known as Guardians. Pence said during a speech at the White House to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the Space Force. So they had this one time. The Guardians will ensure for generations that America remains as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and air. He added, "Listen, man. You know what? Let me see what this idiot had to say." Mike Pence. It was my honor to announce today that the men and women of the Space Force will be known as Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy, huh? You can read more. There's more here, but we know what this Space Force is for. And there was war in heaven. All right. So it says here in Revelation 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. So the dragon are these Edomites, right? If you notice, Colby Covington always talk about the dragon. So they all know. They know that they're the dragon. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to pull his picture up soon. You know, they know the spirit. And the dragon fought and his angels. So these Edomites, they're the dragon. Okay, the Space Force, their military force, right? That's their angels. That represents their angels. Because the devil too have angels now. And prevail not. Neither was there found any more in heaven. So it's not heaven like you dumb Christians always talk about, oh, there was war in heaven, in the spiritual realm, and then the Lord kicked out Satan out of heaven. Listen, that's that. What you're reading here in Revelation 12 and 7, that haven't happened yet. That's getting ready to happen with the Space Force, okay? And the rest of these armies of the world that's going to fight the Lord. And the great dragon was cast out. That great dragon, the old serpent, because he was in the garden. He was the one in the garden that beguiled Eve. Okay, that was a spirit of him. That was back then. And he had the same spirit in him right now, called the devil, which is the deceiver. He's deceiving the whole world again. It's just the elect. He's not going to deceive the elect. And Satan, which is the adversary of the Most High, and yahawashi, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice in heaven, saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. And those are the accusers of our brethren, the Edomites, okay? Which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death. So this, verse 12 is going into, you know what? Let me read it. Let me read verse 12. And I'll just cut it off there. I might just read some more, who knows. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath a short time. That's why he's speeding everything up. He is speeding everything up. Okay? That's the reason why he's pushing this concoction, right? This is the reason why. He's trying to get the Israelites back into slavery and govern the whole world under his rulership and under his laws, under his ungodly laws. That's why he's called it Satan, right? Because he's adverse to the Most High. He's an adversary of the Most High. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. This is the nation of Israel that's being persecuted, man. And you can go back into the Romans as well, right? Because the Romans did do this. Right? The Romans, they're the dragon as well. Right? And we can go back into the time of yahawashi, where they persecuted all those children. Right? When he was trying to, when he killed millions of Israelite boy babies, right, or boy child, when he was disrespected by the wise men that he sent out, by the prophets that he sent out to get the man child, which is yahawashi, but then they never came back. So by those 2 years that he he sent them away and they never came back, he killed every baby man child that was 2 years and under. Okay. And when according to the apostles, those are the Benjamite. Most of them were Benjamite children, right? And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place. That's after 70 AD, when we went over into the west coast of Africa, into the Atlas Mountains, into her place where she nourished for a time, and times and a half of time from the face of the serpent. So there you have it, man. That's going into our history, right? Goes more in the earth helped the woman, and dragon was wroth with the woman. That's the future prophecy, but should I read some more? Nah, I'll cut it off there. It goes a little bit more, but it's not. it's that's not the lesson I'm trying to convey, because it goes into the history. I'm trying to get the I should have just cut it off all the way up here, but it's okay. Daniel 12. If you think this is a joke, this is about to, what do you see? Trump and the rest of the, listen, Trump and Biden, they're all together. So I know you Israelites like to think that they're against each other. These people are all for one, because Biden is just going to continue with Trump, with the Space Force that Trump had, or Trump started. Okay? They're going to try and fight the Lord. That's the reason why they have this Space Force. And at that, this is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince shall which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never once there was a nation, even to that same time, Salakia. And at that time that people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Right? So Michael himself and the Lord is going to come down here and destroy these Edomites, okay? And all that they stand for, which is this kingdom. All right. It's 11. Let me get so this space force will be demolished, okay? These guardians. You watch Guardians of the Galaxy, man, you grew up on that stuff, and then you just have to laugh, man. Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, and I'll drop all the way down to the main point. I just have to start at 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamt a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from heaven, from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So they is talking about the Space Force, Esau and all his dominions, all his angels. That's what was mentioned in Revelation 12, right? So the angels, yahawashi himself is going to come back and destroy these people. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue that man that came out of the sea, which is yahawashi. And I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So there's an article that says these the so-called UFOs are here to pretty much ask us to be with them and start families and all that bullshit, man. And then this Jake that at my work, he was telling me about this, and he was happy, and then he thinks like that people that's more superior than us. Like, that's how you know these people in the churches, man. They're all screwed up. The only thing that's gonna cure these people is death. Okay, the angels have celestial bodies, right? I think we have terrestrial bodies, so it's either way. The two bodies cannot coincide. Okay. When you bring these scriptures out, they laugh at you, but I'm laughing at you because you people have no understanding. Okay, this is not for you, anyways. And I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it, flew up upon it, which is this is the father ship, the big UFO ship, right? The big spaceship, the chariot. And I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So it's a big ship. It's going to block out the sun. And after I beheld, and lo, all they that were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, because the Lord will make them fight, right? Because the Lord came back here for violence, okay? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, they came with their sword, they came with their guns, they came with their biological weapons, they came with their missiles, whatever they came with, okay? Their bazookas, right? Their lasers, and nothing can touch these ships. They're too fast. Their technology is way too advanced. Plus, they have the spirit of the Lord to guide them. You're not going to kill one angel, not even one. You're not going to blow up any ship like in Independence Day. It's not going to happen. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. And it then goes into the elect men that follow him, right? So I'm going to get one more scripture. I wanted to get Isaiah 63 and also more scriptures in Revelation, but I'm just going to get I shall not meet thee as a man. And then I'm going to just finish it there. Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, which is just going to these Edomites, okay? And it's being uncovered, you know? So we're talking about the UFO, and Gina Maria Colvin she just came on live because she talks about the UFOs, you know? We're talking about the chariots, so that's the spirit. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen, and Edom, you're exposed. If the rest of the world cannot see this, because the scripture that said in Revelation that you deceive it the whole world, we can't deceive the elect. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, because he's going to come back as an extraterrestrial being. Okay, he's going to come back as that warrior lion, man, and tear your Edomites to pieces. So shalom.